sparrows actually feed on the pests that come onto the agricultural fields. So more sparrows means easier way to have pesticide free crops, and it's very rewarding, not just for sparrows, but we know the whole cycle, right? This grass goes to cows and the milk is getting adulterated, and the entire cycle can be stopped. Definitely it can impact the quality of food that we are taking. So sparrow conservation is directly linked to agriculture. They get attracted to yellow flowers, especially in spring. They feed on yellow flowers. So all green, native trees and native shrubs are definitely a huge attraction to sparrows. Yellow flowers is one special attraction to them because on spring they would like to feed only on yellow flowers.
Shmuel, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Thank you. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting lecture, very interesting presentation. And I want to ask you next question. How, according to your opinion, the protecting house sparrows can support resolution problems of poverty and social inequality?
Yes. So, if I may paraphrase your question, you're saying how does it help people come out of poverty? How sparrow conservation help poor, underprivileged background people?
Yeah.
Yes. The feeder bowls that you see, or the house sparrow nest that you see, can all be made from DIY waste, plastic waste. And if they can make some interesting models, it can become an income generator for them. And secondly, in the long run, more house sparrows means more biodiversity, and tourism potential of a particular place also goes up. So there are myriad ways in which sparrow conservation will also benefit the underprivileged. Mainly immediate income generation could be making of sparrow nests and sparrow feeders. These can be made from simple products like coconut shells, even cardboard shoe boxes. So in Assam, in one district, a village made about 60 cardboard boxes of house sparrow nest made out of boxes. Okay, so these are immediate ways by which they can generate income.
A question from SK Smita. Mynas, crows, pigeons are found more in numbers now. Why is it that sparrows are coming down and these are going high?
Actually, pigeons especially are called invasive species, and they dominate with their sheer presence. They don't let these tiny birds thrive. So if you notice, pigeons don't dwell in green spaces. They like to stay near buildings or large monuments and those hollow spaces where they can thrive. So they're kind of invasive species. If I have to draw a parallel, they're like eucalyptus trees in vegetation, so they don't let others grow. And so that's what is happening. And bringing back house sparrows will need some kind of conscious efforts. So if we do all the little tiny small efforts, they will definitely bring back the sparrow population back to the spaces where earlier they vanished from.
Then mobile towers, this is from Uttam Sudan. Do they also impact sparrows?
Yes. So the radiation that comes from mobile towers is actually impacting the reproductive health of sparrows. They are, hitting the fertility rates in sparrows, and the studies have proven that the immunity levels of sparrows are coming down. So mobile tower radiation is definitely harmful.
Climate change, is that impact the animal extinction?
What exactly do you mean by climate change?
Is the heat that is increasing?
Yes. So the rising temperatures and more warmer summers and more chiller winters, and the rising global temperatures are definitely affecting sparrow population, and hence the urge to keep water bowls wherever possible, and in whatever season. Don't wait for summers to come in, but there's no proper drinking water available for anyone, be it humans or animals. So be it dogs or birds, climate change is definitely impacting them. So we need to do things like this.
How do we make nesting boxes? Any suggestions?
Yes, ma'am. So nesting boxes, if you take small earthen pots, those pots with small hole drilled can also become a nesting site. So you can use coconut shells. There are many DIY videos, and we also conduct DIY workshops in nest making. Animal Conservation Society also conducts, in fact, they do beautiful employee engagement programs with corporates. So there are variety of nest making things that are available online, and you can use simple things like plastic bottles and coconut shells and coir, the coconut husk. The rice husk, and you can use many things. It's up to our creativity. A small enclosed thing with a small single entry for the sparrow is enough for it to thrive. Just that it needs to stay in a safe place where human intervention is minimum. They want humans around, but not fiddle with their nesting spaces. So for roosting, for shelter, they do definitely come, and beautiful chirping sounds in the morning if you can really have some bird nests installed.
Yeah, Vinod, please continue your question.
Yeah, Padmaja, thanks for an amazing session. I'm happy to share that we have 2 balconies, and in both the balconies we have an AC outdoor unit, and we have 2 nests of sparrows. But again, I would really love to follow the suggestions that you shared. But the first thing that comes to my mind is, how can I avoid the pigeon menace when I put a bowl of water or throw oats or spill oats or grains in my balcony? Because most of the communities in Hyderabad are affected by pigeons, and then we also have a net surrounding our grill to make sure pigeons don't come in. Because once they come in, they lay eggs. They don't make any nest. They lay eggs in the flower pots, everywhere, wherever, right? So how do we attract sparrows and not pigeons?
Well, yes, when Delhi started conserving sparrows, what they did was they came up with frame that had spikes that can be installed on the AC compressor. So that would shoo away pigeons. They wouldn't come. And also pigeons, if you shoo them away manually, constantly for some time, they will not usually come back. And this frame with spikes really worked. So many communities in Delhi installed this frame on the AC compressor. It fits right on it, and it doesn't allow pigeons to come.
Okay. So I've noticed in certain houses when I was in Delhi, they used to put a particular kind of feed to attract peacocks. What do you think of that?
I have no idea about it. What is the feed, ma'am?
I wasn't sure about the actual feed, but you would, to have birds come into their garden, they would put a particular kind, regular grains in our homes.
Okay, so see, sparrow feed, they're starch-loving birds. Okay, so they eat oats, they eat millets, all kinds of millets, sorghum, bajra, jawar, and you can keep all these kinds of grains, corn, maize. They get attracted to all this.
Okay.
In fact, personally, I have found millet variety very attractive.
Okay.
That can be given.
So millets.
Yes, millets.
Shmail's question is, if protecting sparrows can support development of agriculture, can it support the development of agriculture and creating new workplaces?
Wow. Actually, sparrow conservation will lead to, very easy organic farming methods, natural farming methods, because they are natural pest controllers. Sparrows actually feed on the pests that come onto the agricultural fields. So more sparrows means easier way to have pesticide free crops, and it's very rewarding, not just for sparrows, but we know the whole cycle, right? This grass goes to cows and the milk is getting adulterated, and the entire cycle can be stopped. Definitely it can impact the quality of food that we are taking. So sparrow conservation is directly linked to agriculture. What's the second part of the question?
Sure, what he means by creation of new workplaces.
Okay, yeah. So corporate offices actually moving out of the glass building facades and entering more green spaces is probably what he means. Well, yes, that can definitely help conserve sparrows, not just sparrows, sparrows and beyond. So, pollinator gardens, especially, can be very beautiful in attracting butterflies and bats and squirrels and sparrows and the rest of the biodiversity.
Yeah. Sanjay, this is from Sanjay Joshi. Akshay Kumar and a Rajnikant movie on the radiation from mobile towers. Is it a true story? Is there any solution?
I think the concept is very real, though there is some element of fiction in it about the Birdman and stuff like that. But though it is a controversial topic that, how can electromagnetic waves impact DNA of a particular species, though that's controversial, studies have proven that wherever there are cell phone towers, the nesting sites are very, very minimum. And the populations in those areas have come down. And it is impacting the fertility and the reproductive rates of sparrows, and the immunity is also going down because the rate of death of sparrows in towers infested areas is very high. So yes, that is a real story with some fictional element to make it appealing to the audience.
This is from Advocate Basavaraj Hosagudar. I hope I pronounced the name right. Whether there is any scientific research done on the effect of towers on sparrows, and if so, please give us reference.
You mean cell phone towers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is what I just quoted. Sparrows are getting affected, and the DNA makeup can't be disturbed by electromagnetic waves is one contention. But then the real on the field studies did by Bombay Natural History Society and other citizen scientist led groups did show that there have been very fewer bird sightings in places where cell phone towers are present. The fertility rates, I reiterate, the reproduction of sparrows is coming down, and that's definitely one important reason why sparrows are declining.
Does declining sparrow population have affect any other species population specifically? This is from Shrita.
Yes, because they primarily feed on insects. Especially they feed the younger ones with insects, and larvae of mosquitoes and insects form a very important part of their diet. If sparrows disappears, this insect population will explode, and that will create imbalance in the ecosystems in unpredictable ways. It will come to humans as diseases. It might do many things. So yes, sparrow population is directly linked. Like as I said in the beginning of the talk, a tiger is an apex predator that can control the population in a jungle. In a similar way, if we draw a parallel, sparrow does play an important role in ecology in controlling other populations.
Okay. Which flowering plants attract sparrows? This is from Sridhar Arshnapalli.
Okay, this is a nice question. They get attracted to yellow flowers, especially in spring. They feed on yellow flowers. So all green, native trees and native shrubs are definitely a huge attraction to sparrows. Yellow flowers is one special attraction to them because on spring they would like to feed only on yellow flowers.
Surprising. Okay. This is a question from Gaurav Mondal. Any suggestions where in the house I can install the bird houses? And is the bird house equally beneficial for other local birds in our area, such as jungle myna, bulbul, sunbirds?
Actually, you can install bird nests in your balconies where the birds actually see that the nest is there. So best to keep it in corridors and hallways, and if it is an apartment complex, the parking area where there are green spaces, it's best to keep them close. And if you're staying in a flat, you can put it up in your balcony. So this helps only in house sparrows because the size of the entry, the hole is such that only the sparrow can go in and come out. And also the nest and the eggs inside it are safe. It doesn't let others go in. It is so small, so narrow, tiny little hole.
This question is from Dr. Archana Shukla. Your views on community nesting in sparrows?
Sparrows like to stay in groups. Okay, so they usually nest in individual nests. So community nesting is a very rare phenomena. They would like to have their own nest, and they are social yet private creatures.
Farida Raj, please answer my question. Many birds come to my garden, bird feeders and water bodies, but not a single sparrow. What is the reason?
Where's your bird feeder located, ma'am? in your
But
garden?
My bird feeders are on the branches of the tree, big trees in my garden. And also, I have hung some from my balcony. So, I have these small birds coming, which are called munias. And then there are doves and other seven sisters, as they are called. They are coming, but I have not been able to kind of do, no sparrow has ever come. So,
Okay.
this is what I wanted to know. What is the reason?
So how long had it been?
Oh, for 5 years, I had put up some wooden boxes with a
Mhm.
small hole, but nothing happened there as well.
Okay. See, one thing with sparrows that happens is when there are many other species of birds that are coming in, they generally don't come. And you're saying it's a big tree, right?
They're trees. They're
Yeah. So to an artificially created feeder box or a nest, they would prefer nesting on the tree. So
Okay.
probably if the space is already green, they're not attracted to this because this happened with my in one of the colleges also. So we hung a lot of bird nests, but after a while we found that they were actually nesting on trees and not coming into this. The psychology is that we would think this would be a safe place, or no other animal would come or disturb their nest, but they are actually happy nesting there rather than coming here. So I think you're already doing a great job, and it's fine if sparrows don't turn up, they're somewhere else happy.
Can I add a few more points to
yes,
that?
Yashan.
So you can also have Mexican marigold growing in your, it grows really fast. The birds, sparrows especially, love the seeds. Also sunflowers, there's this plant called cosmos, and zinnias. Zinnias also basically attract via the seeds itself. You can have millets, fennel, dandelions, bougainville, hibiscus, bottlebrush. I'm just reading it off the net, but yeah, so these are plants that will specifically attract sparrows as well, especially the ones with a lot of seeds. The yellow flowers that ma'am mentioned, they have a lot of seeds that attract the sparrows. Those will help you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do you have other birds coming to your garden, ma'am?
Yes.
What are they?
As I mentioned, there are doves coming in, and then there are these birds. They are called seven sisters because they always come in a group, and they're small birds like munias. So they come, and as Padmaja mentioned, it's such a sight to see them taking a bath in those water bodies which I have put. But I have always been wanting to have a nesting place for the sparrow. And that's not happening, but I shall go by what Padmaja says. It will happen eventually, and I should be happy with what birds are coming to my garden.
In addition to these flowers, there's a lady called Oro Navy, and she's put a variety of trees and shrubs at my place, bushes and all. Every day morning at between 6:30 to 8, every day I see a new kind of bird in the house.
And also one point I would like to mention what Padmaja said about the pigeons. My adjoining building, there are a lot of pigeons there, but when the pigeon comes down, because I've got these feeders, in a bowl, millet and all, but when I physically chase the pigeons away, and after a while they stop coming. So that also can be kept in mind. Yeah.
Padmaja did mention that.
Yeah. Thank you, Padmaja.
Thank you so much. There's one more question. Like these conservation points, all just about common house sparrows, is this useful for other smaller species of birds or of the sparrow family, like hummingbirds?
Yes, sir. So sparrow conservation is not just about sparrows, but sparrows and beyond. All the trees and shrubs and the green places that you would make will definitely attract a lot of other pollinators like butterflies and bats and other small species of birds like, yes, hummingbirds. And I think it is disheartening to see conservation of species in silos. So whatever conservation efforts happen, they have to happen. I'm talking about at policy level. So whatever ecosystems are being regenerated or whatever ecosystems are being brought back to life will not just help one species thrive, but they are a complex web of ecosystems and many species will thrive. So what we see to our naked eye is very minimum, and the kind of complexity and the kind of holistic life forms that can thrive in, I guess, as someone said, crores of species will thrive. just on soil itself, there are millions of species that are thriving. So house sparrow conservation is not just saving house sparrows, but many related species, and it also helps us embrace a more beautiful, healthier life.